Good morning, Toronto. 7:23 on this Thursday. Good to see you. We're four wide here on the couch. This is Breakfast Television. As Tammie's been reporting all morning, the parade for the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs turned into a complete nightmare once it was done yesterday. One person killed, more than 20 people were shot at the parade. Some wounded were children. Here are some of the scenes, and I'm sure most of you have seen them by now. 3 people have been detained. 1 million people were downtown at the parade. This is a city that knows how to throw a downtown parade. They did it a year ago. Players were technically on stage when the shooting broke out. A mass shooting in the United States specifically is defined as a shooting where at least 4 people are killed. This is the 48th mass shooting in that country, and we're 47 days into 2024. Wrap your head around that. We'll have much more on this as it becomes available. Tammie and the news team have it completely covered. As someone who worked the Raptors parade in 2019, I know a lot of people's memories kind of went quickly back to that. I was there for that. Now, 4 people suffered non-life-threatening injuries in Toronto that day in that shooting. Not the same thing. Thankfully, it wasn't as bad. But I looked at that, Tam, and I was like, yeah, I've seen that type of chaos to a certain extent. I know you were working the event too.
Yeah, so I was up at the front all morning long, all day long, right next to the stage when the shooting broke out. I didn't hear the shooting at all because it was on the other side of Bay, but you could tell the tone definitely shifted immediately. And once we were able to get some more word that this had happened, I thought about the people who were out there trying to find their loved ones in that scatter, because even me, as a journalist at the front, I had some room, some space. Me trying to call police just to get information to get out there, because we were live at the time. Just to put that information out, impossible. The signal was gone. Couldn't send emails, couldn't call. And then you're boxed in, kind of like a sitting duck, and thinking, what's going to happen next? I feel for all of those people. I remember walking home and seeing just like a random shoe here and a purse there, just like the aftermath of people trying to run for their lives because they had no idea what was going on.
We were locked in. I was part of the Sportsnet broadcast and the city broadcast. We were locked. I'm literally seeing people getting trampled, down, leaning over. We can't go anywhere. Everyone's told get down. I turn to my right. Adrienne Arsenault of CBC is like on her phone. She's not flinching. This is the type of experience she has. But I've never experienced something like that. So we're all on the ground. And there's a lot of people in Kansas City being criticized, specifically police, for maybe how that was handled yesterday. There were 600 local cops in and around that area. But the one thing I'll always take away from the Toronto event, I don't care how many cops you have there. There were Secret Service at the Toronto event because Trudeau was on the stage. If people are going to try and do something, they're going to do something. And honestly, for an event that size, look, one day the Leafs are going to win a Stanley Cup. One day the Jays are going to get back there. One day the Raptors, I can guarantee you one day the Raptors with Masai running it, he's going to get back there. Unless I am told to go to this event because I am working the event on behalf of Rogers or City or anyone else, I am not going. Like that, an event of that size is giving me certain feelings. And I don't know if I'm overreacting to this, but I've had the same feeling since 2019. For something of that size, I'm now feeling a certain way. Where are you guys with this? May I start with you?
Well, I mean, and you're feeling that certain way, and we're in Canada, you know, and the laws are still on our side in that way. I mean, in the U.S., I just don't know what it's going to take for them to actually revisit some of these gun laws. Because, I mean, you said that stat. I mean, it's the 48th shooting and they're 47 days in. I mean, this is just, these are children that are being injured. And now we're seeing it replayed over and over again on social media. I mean, thank goodness for some of the bravery of some of the people who were there. I mean, we saw just pedestrians, people at the parade tackle one of the shooters. I mean, but to now see that kind of crowd and for the first response there not to be celebration, but for it to be fear, really shows where we're at in our society.
I get where you're coming from with not wanting to be in that world, in that kind of environment again. I was 16 when I first saw a shooting happen. And it was on Yonge Street. It was during Caravana weekend. And someone died. And I was there while I was trying to help that person live. That doesn't go away. And, and I haven't really talked about it in a long, long time, but as we're talking about this, that's what came up.
What year was this again, Devo?
This, oh my gosh, I was 16, so like this is, we're
going
talking like almost 30 years
Forgive me,
ago.
I thought you said
man.
2016. You were
No,
16.
I was 16
Sorry,
years
continue.
old, and that doesn't ever leave you. So I understand what that does to you when you're in that scene. To all those people that were there that close to it, it is scary. But you think about what you just said. There's a lot of people in this country that have never seen a gun before. And there's a lot of people in America who carry one each and every day. And it is very easy to access it when you go to different states. I've been fortunate enough to travel a lot, and I see it, and it's like, man, how is this your day-to-day? We don't understand that aspect of it here, but that is a scary scene. When you're in a large group already, and that group moves a certain way, you get nervous. Even at concerts, we've seen it, people getting trampled and things like that. But how do you keep everybody safe in this? Like you said, there's that many police, there's that many security. If something's gonna happen, unfortunately, you can't prevent it with added security.
Look, I in terms of 2019 in Toronto, and I think you can back me up, that was a poorly run event. There was one porta potty at Nathan Phillips. There was no water for anyone. It was one of the hottest days of the year. It was a disaster. I don't look back on that day fondly. I know other people have different memories. Marc Gasol, drunk, I get it. I don't. That was not a good moment for the city. But in terms of police doing what they can, like if someone wants to do something dumb, they're going to do something dumb. I'll end it with this. I was watching MSNBC yesterday covering this. The second a congressman from Missouri was put up from Capitol Hill to comment, I changed the channel immediately. I'm done with the political talk. I am done with the lack of understanding. I am done with the thoughts and prayers. People in the United States of America now have to protect themselves. I don't know what that means. If it means avoiding events like that going forward, whatever that means, because those politicians are not going to help you, a Democrat or Republican. And there's Democrats too who are also protecting people. Don't get it twisted. Anyway, so I think that's what I took away from that yesterday, and it was a hell of a moment. And Tammie and the news team, they're on this. Any more developments from Kansas City, we'll have them here on Breakfast Television. News update coming up. Mark McAllister of City News coming up. More on the city budget, which was finalized yesterday, and plenty more here on BT.